Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. I almost messed it up. I don't know. I was going to say like another. I don't know what I was going to say. Episodes came out real weird though. Today we're doing a special selection. You guys tell me exactly what to listen to, and I check it out. So far, no exceptions. Please don't test that. This one comes in from Donnerwalp and says I should check out a German avant-garde black metal band called Fjoergyn. That's probably a really bad pronunciation, as is the song title Dinner mit Ball, which again is probably I'm probably butchering that. Let's see. Lyrics are sung in German, and Donnerwamp has supplied a English translation. An English translation. I can speak with proper articles, I promise. Has supplied an English translation, which is a Google Doc. It's linked down in the description. I feel like I'm just bumbling these words so bad. Okay, there is an English translation in the description if you want to check that out. The link's down there. All right, so I looked at the lyrics. They're very interesting. The only other thing I know about this is the song translates, or the title translates to Dinner with Baal, and Baal is one of the Judeo Christian false gods. That's about where my context ends for any of that. So, let's see what Fjorgen's all about. So far, this is beautiful. What is this? This is black metal. Avant-garde, obviously, but still. No, this is straight up jazz. There is no metal to this. It just dawned on me we haven't had any lyrics yet. And this background music stuff is in English. Alright. Just kind of shifting over to straight sounds. Lots of use going on of 3 against 4. We've had triplets over 4-4 in a couple of places. Another one, triplets running into straight in the back of triplet.
Senk dein Haupt vor Baal, sprich seinen Namen in Demut und Furcht, er es dir befahl. Gelobe ihm Treue über den Tod, dein Leben für Baal. Opfer dein Fleisch, gießt alle ins Meer, er es dir befahl.
So many vocal layers going on right now. This part is so disjointed, just the bass riff, how that's going up against the drum part, and it's the way that it's accenting stuff. That was just a really weird section. And it fit well, I mean, thematically, it's just weird to listen to. So the background to this section definitely reminds me of hymns. which is obviously very deliberate, given that hymns have a close relationship with Judeo-Christian religion.
Ich bin dein Gott, trag tausende Namen, kein Label, kein Grund, gezeugt ohne Samen, hast dich gesucht.
Really cool counterpoint going on between the singer and the guitarist here. They have similar lines, but they're just different enough to introduce um, that clashing melody concept.
Willst mich verstehen und misst mich an dir, kennst nicht mal dich, ist auch nur dir, schaffst große Pläne, ein Visionär für Gericht, schaust kurz einmal hin und änderst dann nichts.
Definitely an interesting track, an interesting idea, just kind of overall. Avant-garde black metal is definitely unique. It is nothing like what I expect black metal to be, but interestingly, I mean, this is part of the avant-garde aspect. I assume there is a ton of classical inspiration here, not only just in the instrumentation and their intro, which was obviously very. Oh wait, there's also a jazz section too. These guys were all over the place. Yeah. So, yeah. But even in their more rock metal style, there's still a lot of classical inspiration going on in the way that they write their counter melodies, in the way that they write um, their how they play with time, in their chord choices. Um, yeah, these guys have a very large vocabulary for writing music, and it shows all throughout. I mean, they jump through so many situations, and yes, like I said, there's that classical intro. Then there's the the jazzy section. There are distinct genre-based pieces, but a lot of the concepts of classical and jazz spring up in their more traditional rocky sections too. So yeah, yeah, they just have a wide vocabulary, and that's phenomenal. I love bands that can do that. I mean, it's definitely amazing to see a band excel at their craft. All right, just like you picked new metal, and you're just like the best new metal band out there. Like you're just so new metal, nobody can new metal like you can new metal. And I mean, yeah, there's definitely some awesomeness to that, and you deserve props, 100%. Uh, but I also just really love seeing hyper versatile people, especially when their inspirations are so diverse. You know, classical and metal just works. I think if we really looked into it, we could see a very strong line between the two. But jazz and metal, they definitely work together. But I don't really see, other than the fact that jazz sort of led to blues, and blues led to and rock and roll, created rock, and rock became metal, and metal became black metal, and all these offshoots. There's definitely a lineage there, but to me, it's a lot looser than classical's lineage. Um, I don't know. Classical and metal just feel so. I'm getting way off topic, I think. Uh, classical and metal just feel real close together, though. Like so much of metal, all you gotta do is change your instrumentation, and you have good classical pieces. They're not typically very interesting. You definitely have to look for more interesting metal songs for that. But I don't think they sound weird. If you take a metal song and just play it with jazz instrumentation, it doesn't feel jazzy. Like you need to inject some jazz into it. I just don't think that the reflection there is as strong as it is with classical. But yeah, so they have like these diverse inspirations, and they just bring them all together. Um, I also enjoy the little tongue-in-cheek bit there near the end with the hymns little section. It was only like 8 bars, and then it just kind of faded to the background. I don't think that the choir. I couldn't tell if it was a choir or strings playing the high harmonized part, but it sounded like a church choir in a big, a big open hall. Had that nice reverb to it, and it was very uplifting and powerful. It had these really nice like chord textures and note relations that give you those big power moments. Um, yeah, very much brought me back to going to a church and singing the hymns and stuff like that. And the fact that we're talking about Baal and spoiler, if you haven't read the lyrics yet, the song seems to be about, I mean it's fairly straightforward, about worshiping Baal and sort of disowning other gods to be subservient to him. And yeah, definitely a little tongue in cheek to create auditory imagery of church going for Judeo Christian churches, and just kind of what that sounds like. When I hear that, just right back to Christian church when I was a kid. So yeah, like I said, definitely deliberate, tongue firmly planted in cheek. Uh, yeah, good, good job with that one. Um, but yeah, just like okay. So I was gonna ramble on a bit more about some of the ways that their metal feels like classical, has some classical inspirations to it, but I think it's pretty self evident, and I've talked about that quite a bit already. Uh, the music is just nicely layered. There's good counterpoint in it. I'm not going to say it specifically utilizes, classical chord progressions or chord technique or anything like that, but it utilizes a lot of the way that classical tends to layer instruments and how roles are assigned. And we can see that a lot with the way that several of their parts are layered. But I'm gonna move past that because, like I said, I think I've said my piece on that. We've been on that for a bit here. I do want to talk about some of the things that did not work for me. I loved this piece from beginning to end. It put a smile on my face a couple of times at least. That I physically felt a smile coming on. Um, but it did not work for me all of the time. The first time was when the growls came in. This is not a good preface for Monday. um, I don't I didn't really have an issue with the growls. It was more of the vocal texture and layering. We had a growl, we had a couple of cleans. I think we had like a raspy thing going on. It was just a lot of vocal layering. And to me, now this is completely biased. Everybody has different history with sounds and what they relate those sounds to. For me, when I heard those 5 or 6 different vocal parts coming together, it sounded like a typical modern rendition of a person possessed, um, and a cacophony of voices speaking through the body. I don't know if that's necessarily what they were going for, but it had the lower range, it had the higher range, it had a raspiness, and it had like a demonic growling to it, and it seemed to hit all the points, at least in the Western world, or maybe even more necessarily in America, how Hollywood, very recent, like I said, very modern depiction, how Hollywood tends to depict voiced possession or demonic a demonic possession speaking to the rest of the people in the film, um, and it just came off as a little cringy. Like I don't want to be too harsh on it. Um, it's evoking a specific imagery, and if that's what they're going for, it definitely works. Like I said, they went with like I usually say, if you go in with a goal and you nail it, I'm not going to fault you for it, even if it didn't hit me the right way. All right. Um, but it just came off as a little cringy and I don't know. It didn't work for me. The second time that the growls came in, and I think it was just the growls, it was okay. I'm still not a huge fan, but it didn't detract from the rest of what was going on. The two clean sections, though, beautiful, loved them. But also the instrumentation changed with them. When the singer sang clean, we had some very classical music or classical inspired music. We were still working with more or less a rock set of tools as far as instrumentation goes, but the distortion was usually brought down a bit. Sometimes we had straight up clean instruments, lots of heavy layering, lots of melodies rather than riffs. Um, and then usually with the growling, we had more rock oriented writing, metal oriented writing. So, I mean, that could play into how I feel about those sections as well. But yeah, whenever he came in with those clean vocals, it was just gorgeous. That whole section, every time. Uh, and so I'm not really sure if I can attribute that specifically to the voice or just how they decided to portray those sections auditorily, sonically. That's a good. I love that word, sonically. Uh, but yeah, but the growls, they just like I said, the first time the growls came in with all the vocals, just it was a little too much for me. A little playing too much into the theme of kind of the middle finger to the Judeo-Christian God concept. I have no problem with it. All right, I don't have an issue with satanic music or music that even if it's done thematically, I don't have a problem with any of this. Bashing, not necessarily bashing, but like worshiping unusual gods, gods that we don't usually worship in the modern world. Uh, I don't like I said, I don't have an issue with it. This part specifically just came off a little cringy for me because of the vocals and. But like I said, it's they were going for a specific sound and a specific thing, and I think they nailed it. So, huh? Wait a second. Huh? I don't know. My phone was open the metronome app. I don't know if you guys heard the really loud like knocking sound. Yeah, open my metronome app. Fantastic. uh, weird too. So where was I? Where was I? Growls didn't really work the first time. Was okay the second time. I don't know. I guess that's all of my like minute criteria criticisms. Overall, though, the song was just done really well. I love the way that they just blended everything, uh, and their transitions. They were all right. They were all right. The thing is when you transition between very different sections, like when we go from basically almost straight black metal with growling to something a little cleaner, or when we transition from like the classical to that little jazzy section, it's going to be jarring. It's really difficult to write a smooth transition between such a two different situations. I think they did really well in that regard. They could have been smoother. Honestly, I don't know if I could make them smoother. Personally, I would have to really, I, I I don't have experience doing that. I would have to, really put in the time and try and see if I could smooth that out. But, they felt a little disjointed, but it wasn't distracting. So, like I said, I got to give them props for that because I don't know if I could have done it. Uh, it's difficult to really merge the two like that. So, yeah, like I said, little difficult, but I think they did really well for what it was worth. But I am interested in what this band does now. Like, uh, the would it be? It's not satanic because they're not going for Satan, but it's definitely against Judeo-Christian religion, which I think a lot of people just kind of group satanic into that, or group that into satanic, just kind of a blanket umbrella for anything against the Judeo-Christian God. Um, I don't know. Anyways, this style of writing just isn't for me, lyrically, thematically, kind of thing. I appreciate what they're doing, but just religious music as a whole always feels campy, cringy. It doesn't matter, if it's for a proper religion, uh, you know, Catholicism or Christianity or Judaism or Muslim or anything like that. It just or if it's for a lesser known one, whether it's Satanism or you're writing songs for the Flying Spaghetti Monster or whatever. It never hits me right. It always feels oddly like like it's a parody almost. I don't know. I don't know. And that's just my personal biases I bring in here, and I really try to ignore them, knowing the lyrical content coming into it, and seeing Baal's name in the title. I really tried to ignore it, but it's just something that is ingrained in me. It's just so weird to write music outside of like a narrative. Like if you're writing a concept story, and one of the songs is about the character, uh, you know, speaking to a demon or speaking to the devil or whatever religious character you want them to speak to or speak about or pray to or whatever, that works more because it's done within a fork of fiction. But anytime that you are singing straight about a religious character, I don't know, it just never hits me. It always feels not false or fake, just I don't know, not insincere, but something analogous to that. Like I said, parody is kind of the thing that comes up to me. But parody's wrong too, because that implies it's done for comedic purposes. But it's somewhere in between, like insincere comedy, I don't know. I don't know. It just never feels. I don't know. I'm just gonna end that here because I am not. I lack the vocabulary to explain why, religious music doesn't work for me. Apparently, I just don't have the words for it. That's where you guys come in, though. Hit me up. Let me know what you guys thought of Fjoergyn, and I'm probably still saying that wrong. I really love what the band's doing musically. I would love to see more of this. I enjoyed that a lot of it was instrumental. So, like I said, the lyrics and the vocalists usually didn't do it for me. Those clean vocals, those clean vocals. Um, so yeah, that's kind of my condensed concept, my condensed ideas about it. What'd you guys think? Hit me up in the comments. If you know about this band, what should I be checking out next? Like I said, definitely point me in the direction of their avant-garde black metal stuff. I don't know if that's maybe just like one album or what. I don't know. But I liked the music in this song. I need more of it. All right, and above the comments, there's a description box. There's some links in there if you're interested in anything adjacent to the channel, blocked videos, or if you want to add a reaction request to the spreadsheet, or if you want to join the Patreon. and get access to the Discord channel and engage in some pretty cool conversations. Maybe you want to join into the special selection list. There's a link there and some instructions to do that as well. All right, I got one more coming up today, and I'm gonna shoot for two tomorrow. But my weekend got real tight time wise. I don't want to let down my people. All right, you guys have donated for this stuff. I don't want to let you down, but I might only be able to get one done tomorrow, which is not. I'm not happy with it, but it is what it is. Things pop up, life happens, and plans never go as they are planned. So yeah, we got one more today. Hopefully two tomorrow, but maybe only one. And then Monday we start growling week. Looking forward to that. I've joked about it in the past, like, oh, geez, why did I even put that in the poll? Why did I let people tell me we should listen to growling all week? But I am interested. I'm excited about it. All right, it's outside my wheelhouse. It's something I'm not really entirely comfortable with. All right, and part of art is just kind of facing that and realizing either what makes it interesting and coming to enjoy it yourself, or at least appreciating it, even if you realize it isn't for you, and kind of appreciating the craft and art that goes into it. It's not this part specifically. It's not just some guy grumbling into a microphone. As with almost all vocal techniques, there's a lot of skill and practice and craft to the craft. So I am excited about it, despite my grumbling the past couple of days. All right, so that wraps this guy up. You guys have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos. Stay safe, keep being awesome, and all the other stuff that I usually say, but I'm kind of blanking out because I just keep thinking about this song. It's a roller coaster. All right, until next time. Until next time. What? No. All right. Until next time.